I'm going under arrest.
We're hearing from a driver who says he was beaten by a police officer after a traffic stop. The whole interaction caught on camera. Plus, the Knicks looking to rebound in Game 4 tonight. What you need to know if you're headed to MSG. And only in Newsday, the Knicks-loving nuns praying for the team. And we're tracking showers with the hottest days of the year on the way. We'll have your forecast. I'm Macy Eglund. We begin with a story you'll see only in Newsday. We're looking at the crushing cost of living on Long Island. Many parents are now struggling to pay for childcare. Daycare owners say one of the reasons it's so expensive is because of how much they have to pay their workers.
My payroll costs are anywhere from $10,000 to $13,000 a month with a small home-based childcare facility. And so, unfortunately, as much as we want to be able to keep up with inflation costs, from insurance to all the other costs, utilities, everything has gone up.
Coming up, we're breaking down what can be done to potentially lower those costs. An alleged traffic stop assault in Suffolk. A driver claims a police officer punched him multiple times, and it was all caught on dash cam video. Virginia Huey has that story.
I'm going under arrest.
You're watching dash cam video from Craig Manning's car. The Suffolk County man says he was beaten by 5 Suffolk police officers following a traffic stop. Manning is now suing Suffolk Police in Suffolk County, claiming police misconduct, unreasonable and unnecessary use of force, and a violation of his constitutional rights.
I feared for my life and never once attempted to harm an officer.
It happened on Horse Block Road in Farmingville on April 2nd. Manning says he was pulled over by 2 officers for allegedly making an illegal left turn. Manning says he asked to speak to a supervisor and refused to give the officers his driver's license and registration.
I will never forget the look on the officer's face, full of disgust. I was immediately fearful. As a black man, I have seen and experienced that look before.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
In the video, Officer Robert Ruffrano and Officer Samantha Skipon repeatedly yelled, "Stop resisting" at Manning. Both officers tried to pull Manning out of the car, while Ruffrano punched him in the face several times. 3 other cops who arrived at the scene later also allegedly punched Manning.
I thought the abuse wouldn't stop.
In the police report, Ruffrano said he, quote, struck the subject in the head with the closed fist in order to handcuff Manning. The report doesn't say anything about the several punches he landed on Manning's head and face, as shown in the video. Manning was charged with resisting arrest and traffic violations after the alleged assault. The charges were later dismissed.
This whole ordeal has been a horror show for my family and I. I am haunted by the rage and intent to harm me.
Spokesperson for Suffolk Police declined comments citing pending litigation. Manning and Brewington say the lawsuit sends a powerful message to Suffolk Police.
If we don't speak up when these atrocities happen, there can be no change.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
You can read more about this story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. CVS is paying our state millions of dollars for alleged Medicaid fraud. The pharmacy giant will pay $2.25 million to New York after claims it overbilled Medicaid for insulin prescriptions between 2010 and 2020. It's part of a $36.5 million settlement being paid to the federal government and states around the country. Cleanup is underway after a fire shut down the Home Depot in Riverhead. Police say a trailer caught fire yesterday behind the store, and then flames spread to a second trailer. To the NBA Finals, and Game 4 is tonight at MSG. The Knicks are looking to bounce back after dropping Game 3 to the Spurs on Monday night. New York leads the best-of-7 series 2-1. So if you are going to the game, frozen zone restrictions do remain around the Garden, and there is a strict no-bag policy. There will also be an outside watch party this time. They are holding it. And only in Newsday, a group of Long Island nuns are praying for a Knicks title. They include Sister Marie Mackey, a member of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Brentwood. She is a Knicks fan stretching back to the team's last NBA title in 1973.
As someone who is a Catholic and was Catholic educated, I certainly know all about Villanova University. And, they're referred to as the Nova Knicks, three of them, Jalen, Michael, and Josh.
The nuns lit blue candles at St. Joseph's University in Brooklyn for peace, and they've now added orange candles to pray for the Knicks in the playoffs. Very cute.
Oh, that's good.
All right, let's talk about your forecast, Jeff. Sounds like some humid weather coming up.
Yeah, a couple of showers today.
Okay.
It's kind of an in-betweeny day. I mean, gorgeous the last 2 days, about as good as it gets. And then the heat. Then the heat comes in, and it is going to be a little bit brutal at times the next few days. Let's take a look outside this morning. We still have some nice weather out there. Maybe an early beach walk. And we're looking at Cooper's Beach, Southampton, of course, one of the best beaches on Long Island. So nicely kept, and just waiting for some more folks to walk along it today. And again, I think most of the day probably okay. There are going to be a few showers later on, maybe something to keep an eye on if you're heading out to a watch party tonight. It's going to be more humid today, that is for sure. Actually, probably cooler than yesterday with the clouds coming in here, but the mugginess will make it feel a little bit sweatier. And then we bring the heat back in tomorrow. Combined with that humidity, it's going to feel quite stifling at times. That continues on Friday, but the humidity starts to trail off into the weekend, so it's much more comfortable. Really looking like a fantastic all-around beach boat weekend, summer-like. First heat advisory of the season for Long Island. We've got Nassau and Western Suffolk up to the William Floyd here, where we could see heat indices over 95 degrees. Those numbers could be approaching triple digits as you work your way further west towards New York City. So we've got this very slow-moving front here, this batch of showers, which has just kind of been very slowly moving over Long Island, or over the Ohio Valley right now. It eventually will move over Long Island. You can actually see we have a few little sprinkles just to the south of Valley Stream off the coast of Long Beach there. But this has produced some heavy rain off to the west, not because these are really the heaviest downpours. It's just because of how slow that they have been moving, and you can kind of see that as we put things out of motion here. So watch for a couple of those today. I think probably a good idea to sneak the umbrella in just in case. Might not see anything at all, but you might run into one of these near. Take a look at the timestamps. We're getting towards the evening time. You could run into one of those quick little bursts right around the game time, but other than that, we should start to clear things out overnight, and that's when the heat really kicks into gear. Tomorrow morning, sunny. Look at these temperatures. By noon, we're already around, say, 90 or so degrees, but with the humidity, it's going to feel about 5, maybe 7 degrees warmer. So that quick little flash of green, and actually a lot more colors than that, some yellows and oranges, that's a quick little line of thunderstorms that we'll have to keep an eye on for later in the day tomorrow. Those could be a little bit heat-fueled as well. So we'll look at the numbers right now. Our dew points, we're around 60. This is one of the more muggy days that we've seen, say, over the last week or so, and those numbers only go up. We're in the upper 60s to near 70 tomorrow. That overbearing humidity is why we have the heat advisory in effect. So take a look at what it's going to feel like. Here we are tomorrow, early afternoon. You can see down into parts of Queens, southern Nassau County, you could be talking about 100-degree heat index, 90s, upper 90s for parts of the North Shore as well. You will get that relief at the beach. That's why the East End, and I would say arguably the South Shore of Suffolk, will probably not see heat advisory quality numbers here, but it is going to be still feeling very uncomfortable with that humidity. We'll do it again on Friday. The number is not as staggering on Friday, and again, that's because the humidity is dying down as we head towards the weekend. So increasing clouds today, maybe a little bit of veiled sun out there this morning. We've got some spot showers as well to watch out for. Temperatures in the 70s, but the humidity on the rise. It'll be an AC tonight, an AC night tonight, 65 to 70 with that humidity. Some fog developing towards late tonight into early tomorrow morning. And then a mostly sunny day, but watch out for that spot isolated shower in the afternoon. And the temperatures in the 90s, feeling like close to 100 degrees with the humidity. Another hot day on Friday without the chance of any showers, it looks like. And the weekend is looking gorgeous. Low to mid 80s both days, lower humidity, but still nice to get out and enjoy some summer-like weather across Long Island. We'll see cooler weather building in for Monday and into Tuesday as our next chance of rain moves in as well.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Only a Newsday Wallet Watch, the crippling cost of childcare and some help for Long Islanders struggling to afford it. Ken Bufa takes a look.
Parents say it takes a lot of money to raise a child in New York State, especially when it comes to daycare. Newsday's reporter Andrew Anger tells us how one local family is making it work.
Family time is priority number one for Raphael and Mary Urena. For new parents, having twin daughters can be challenging. So for the Amityville couple and others on the island, balancing work and daycare costs can be a struggle.
It is expensive, daycare. It's probably as much as rent or mortgage or close to it.
According to New York State, the median price of infant care in the Empire State is $21,000 a year. One nonprofit group pegs that number as 55.7% higher than the national average. Only one other state in the union is higher.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
To keep costs down, relatives help watch the kids, and Mary only works part-time.
I would like to go back to work full-time, but it's just not possible.
So what's keeping daycare prices so high? Is it regulations, operating expenses, insurance? Well, daycare owners say it's actually something else.
Parents are paying more for the actual labor, than anything else, really.
Where's Jace's shoes?
Johanna Martinez owns a daycare in North Babylon. For the former teacher, the economics of running a daycare, including staff wages, overhead, training, and strict staffing regulations, leaves little room for profit.
While my employees deserve much more than the minimum wage, it's difficult to get them there.
E is for elephant.
Daycare owner Jana Rodriguez hopes there will be more attention by the government to help bring costs down.
I think the most important thing is a long-term investment from the federal government and ensuring that the state is also matching those investments as well.
Back in Amityville, the Urenas say they'll continue to balance costs, work schedules, and childcare, hoping only the best for their daughters and their family's finances.
We just kind of roll with the punches at this point, yeah.
Andrew Enger, Newsday TV.
All right, I'm here with Victor Ocasio, Newsday business reporter, and Jana Rodriguez, the woman from the video, and also owner of the innovative daycare Core in Freeport. Now, Victor and Jana, thank you so much for joining us. Victor, we're going to start with you, though. So let's talk numbers. How does New York compare with other places when it comes to childcare costs?
Well, like in most respects, things are more expensive on Long Island and throughout New York State. Some numbers suggest we're about 55% or so higher than the nation overall when it comes to childcare, particularly for infant care, which are one of the most expensive categories when we're talking about children by age group.
Jana, what are some of your biggest expenses as a daycare owner?
Yeah, as a childcare facility owner, I think one of our biggest expenses is definitely overhead expenses and payroll. So my payroll costs are anywhere from $10,000 to $13,000 a month with a small home-based childcare facility. And so, unfortunately, as much as we want to be able to keep up with inflation costs, from insurance to all the other costs, utilities, I mean, everything has gone up. And so when you're trying to operate a small business with such thin margins, it's very difficult to do.
Now, Victor, there are some programs, assistance programs, to help with this cost. So what are they, and are there similar programs both in Suffolk and in Nassau?
Yeah, so what we have is, in essence, a federal program that is administered at the state level. It's refers to as CCAP. It's the Child Care Assistance Program. And in essence, these are funding that parents can apply for both in Suffolk and Nassau County. There's a run through their respective departments of social services. However, because it is relying on federal funding, and because we've recently, to the benefit of parents, expanded the eligibility, it's become a lot more popular, a lot more necessary for many families, and for that reason, there can be difficulties in getting those funds in a timely, regular, reoccurring manner.
And that's for Suffolk County residents and for
as well.
Nassau
Yeah, in
County
both
residents.
counties, they have these programs.
Okay, and Jenna, let's talk about required ratios for workers to children. What are they, and how does that play a role in the price of daycare?
Yeah, so I think something that's very important is that, first and foremost, as educators, we always want to prioritize the health and safety of all of our children, right? So we understand the importance of regulations and ratios. For home-based childcare facilities, it is a ratio of 2 infants to 1 adult. So if you have 6 infants, then you have to have 3 full-time staff members constantly there. So just think about that. Even if you're taking on children that are 4, 5, 6 years old, the amount of reimbursements for that are much lower than what it is for infant care, but now you have to require those 3 full-time employees at all times, whether they're there or not.
And Jen, I wanted to end with you. What kind of solutions, if any, can possibly fix this model?
I think that that's such a it's such a challenging question to answer, not because there aren't any solutions, but because it'll take many moving parts to be able to create the sustainable, equitable childcare system that we're looking for. So, you know, we've been talking about the importance of universal childcare and what that looks like, right? So I think long-term federal investment is very important. Obviously, continuing to advocate on the state level to have investments into CCAP. But most importantly, I think that we need to focus on the workforce. I think that if we can't retain those quality educators that we need to provide that quality care that we're looking for, then what are we going to do, right?
It is a lot, Victor. And Jana, thank you so much. And of course, you can watch and read and learn more about this story over at Newsday.com.
You can see more on all of the stories you've seen today on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see there. I'm Macy Eglund, here with meteorologist Jeff Danson. We've got more local news, and he's got your forecast coming up here on Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
No one covers the East End like Doug Geed on Newsday TV.
A lot of Long Islanders say they prefer fall over summer, but they still want to enjoy the outdoors.
Explore the hidden and not so hidden gems of the North and South Fork.
This sprawling property on the North Fork has certainly changed over the centuries, but it's been farmed by the same family all those years.
On Out East with Doug Geed at Newsday.com/Out East.